Go. Well, doesn't seem like I've got my speakers, but oh well. I think I've got my audio here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, great. I'm live now. Thanks for had kind of delay getting here today. Sorry about that. A little bit late, but better late than never, as they say, right? So let's get into the slides and kind of take a look at where the market is right now. I want to take a look at the Nasdaq Composite. It opened kind of weak, and it's pulled up a little bit, which is good. So we seem to be good there. Let's see if I can get my video back here. Hold on. Well, there we go. Okay, great. We've got our audio and video now. So looks like we're doing good. Sometimes it's tough to tell. Okay, great. There we go. So now we're both on TikTok and YouTube. And by the way, if you're on TikTok and you want to take a look at these charts, super easy to do. Just go over to www.Dallas Trading Floor. And if you're on TikTok, it's super easy to get on. Just go to my profile, hit the link, and you will see the box there. But it's being simulcast on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So hopefully we're going to get, we've lost our video again, so let's see if we can get the video back. Okay, there. I think it'll work either way because I have the other camera up here, so that's good. So let's first take a look in at the Nasdaq Composite, and we'll pull back a little bit. It seems to be, it's still above that 50-day, so that's good. Let's look at the S&P 500. It's off a little bit, but still in this nice trend, moving up. So that's a good thing. And it looks as if, just checking the other indexes here, the Dow, that's also above the 10-day line. So it's starting to see some nice movement back to kind of where I think we need to be. I think we need to be. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the questions. Thanks for hanging on. Do we need to keep Tesla on a watch list? Here's the thing about Tesla. I know it's showing some very good strength today, but I tell you what I'm going to be doing, and this assumes to me, I want to see it pull above the. I want to see it pull above the 50-day line before I'm going to be as excited about it. So even though we do have a very nice movement up today, I just want to see some support above this 50-day, and that's about 720 or about 715 to about 720 is where the 50-day line is on Tesla, and that's this red line here. So I think that's kind of where we want to be. We're at 703. We're up $26 today, looking very, very good. But I'm not going to be all in on this one. I'm just not going to be all in on this one. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and see because I do think that we may still see a pullback. I did buy when there was this trend reversal here, but then when it pulled back down to the 21-day exponential, I closed out. So I'm a little bit leery. I want to see some more strength in Tesla before I do anything else. So that's kind of my thought on it here. Apple's moving down. Is it a pullback or change in direction? I don't know if it's a change. I have an issue. Sorry about this. With my, let's try that again. Let's see if we could get this to, well, maybe not. Can I have another issue? Another technical issue today. So let's just expand the charts and see if we can get the video back here. So come on. Okay, well, there, I got the video. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple. and see what's happening on Apple. It definitely was a pullback today, but it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. So I'm not worried about a pullback on Apple because it's still well above the 40-day line. A stock a stock rarely goes up more than about 3 or 4 days in a row. Apple has been up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. So this is its 8th day. I'm not surprised that it's pulling back a little bit. Nothing to be worried about. It's only off $1.82. I do have 2 full positions in Apple, and I've sold some calls on it too. So I think it's looking pretty good. All right, let's take a look at Fubo, F-U-B-O. Take a look there to see kind of what's happening. F-U-B-O is the symbol for Fubo TV, and the trend on this is just not looking that good. I think that we just have to be reticent about this because now hopefully there we go. I'll get the temporary line here. As you can see, we have a downward trend. Hopefully I can draw a line here. There we go. We have a downward trend, even though we've popped up a little bit, almost the 21-day line. I just think you can't buy this right now, Ahmad. I just, if you're down more than 7% on this, I'd really consider closing your position. We did have a nice buy on Friday, but it was not enough to reverse the trend. The trend is down on this one, even though it has a 96 relative strength. I think that you've got to avoid this one for now. The chart is just not looking good. As you can see on the weekly chart, we have the same situation where we have this downward trend. So I just can't get excited about this one, and I think you're going to be super careful in terms of it. So I just think that you've just got to be, be careful in terms of Fubo. I just don't think it's the right thing right now. So let's see if we have a question from TikTok. I'm just trying to show the TikTok camera here, and hopefully we'll get that up in just a second. There we go. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get this up here in just a second. There we go. There we go. Okay, super. Now we're up. Now we're up again with the questions from TikTok. Let's again speak on Tilray. This is a question from TikTok, T-L-R-Y. The pot stocks have not been doing that well for about, really since last year. And I think the same thing is true with Tilray. I mean, even though it does have relative strength of 95, the trend on Tilray is down, and it looks like it just, and it just really pulled back hard. It's down 12% today. I just think that it looks like your camera is being unplugged. Wow, Sally, I'm just having issues with this. Well, let's just go to this this view, and hopefully this will let us see it. I'm just going to use the TikTok camera here. And I'm not going to use my other camera. It just looks like, it just looks like it's just, Tilray. I think you got to be looking somewhere else. It's just not looking good. Now Alibaba is got a downward trend, but it did, now here's the thing about Alibaba. Alibaba was just fined a huge amount of money in China. I don't know why it's up today, but it does look like it's moved up to the 50-day line. I can't really get behind it because of this trend. This trend is a downward trend. So I think you've got to be super careful on it. Now it had a huge buy today, so somebody's in there buying. It's got a relative strength of 8, just not really, just not really too powerful there in terms of a. Gosh, all right. It just doesn't have a powerful trend, and I think you want to avoid it for right now. I just don't think it's I don't think it's there. Same with Neo. Again, the Chinese stocks have really taken it hard, And NEO is also in that group. As you can see, I have a trend line on NEO, and it is a downward trend for NEO. So again, I just, I think that, if you're down more than 7% on NEO, I think you got to kind of exit right now. The stocks that have been doing the best in the last week or two have been the big cap techs. Of those, of course, everyone knows about Apple. Apple's off a little bit today. Microsoft, MSFT, is acting pretty well, pretty good. It's up today, not a lot, but it's still in the buy zone. This is kind of where the market is moving right now. It's moving into the big caps, and also there's two areas that seem to be attracting most of the investment right now in the big caps. It seems to be Microsoft, Apple, and some of the oil stocks, but some of these other stocks are just not doing as well. So this is kind of what you got to look out for. Google is also doing pretty well. That's of course Alphabet, GOOG. It's not a lot of people are buying it. I do have a spread on this one. It's pulled back, but it's still in the buy zone. I do have a spread on Google, and it's performed pretty well. But again, there's a movement back into some of the big cap techs. Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, those kind of stocks, but everything else not so much. So you think you've got to be extremely careful when it comes to that. When it comes to that stuff. So let's look at VUZI. People want to get back into this one. I don't know. VUZI. Let's take a look at the chart on it, and it's one of the things about VUZI. It's above a buy point, barely, but it's pulled back to the 10-day line. It may bounce off the 10-day line. If it bounces off this 10-day line, if it moves above about 26, I'm sorry. let me get the right price here for you. If it moves above, let's see if we can get a good price. If it moves above about 27.50, then I think you could possibly consider getting back in. It does have a nice upward trend, but the relative strength line is down. So again, I think you just have to wait on this one. We do have increasing selling volume here, 1-2 days of increasing selling volume. So I think you have to be careful, Jay, on this. I think you have to be really, really careful on this one. Again, I went into Tesla a little bit earlier. Let's go over it again because I think everybody is interested in it. I am not going back into Tesla until it's moving above the 50-day line, and that's right here. That's right here. That's where this is. I have a question from TikTok. It's an interesting question. It's on the TQQQ. The TQQQ is an interesting one because when the Qs start to move, it moves up much faster. It's down a little bit today, but it's still right below a buy zone. Now, here's the thing about the TQQQ. I know you can't see this on TikTok. If you want to see this, you can get to it by going to my profile, hitting the link, and doing it that way, or you can just go to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and I can show you the chart on this one. With the TQQQ, we're still below the buy line, which is at 111.86. Currently, we're at 106.55. So right now, if it does reverse higher and it moves through this cup base. If it moves above 112, that's I think where you want to look at possibly getting into the TQQQ. But right now, it's not at a place that's really that buyable. So that's kind of the long and the short of it for the TQQQ. All right. So hello, sir. Please recommend a penny stock. Penny stock to hold for 1 year. Wow, that's a really tough one. But let's I know that people are interested in penny stocks. I don't particularly like them because they tend to be. I think it's better to buy fewer shares of a better stock. But that said, let's see if we can find a penny stock for you. That might work. I don't think you can hold a penny stock for a year, but there's 10 stocks that are breaking out now, and one of them might be in the lower price range. So let's kind of take a look through some of these stocks. There is this one that is breaking out that you might be able to look at. Let's see. It's a buy. Yeah, it's off today. Let me see. Let me get something really cheap that might work. Might work here. Well, there is this stock. Huh. See, look at this. It's called Move. It's an IPO. It IPO'd at $5. It's at $6 right now. That might be a possibility. MOVE, not really the greatest stock, but now, of course, there's Nuance Communications, but they're going to be bought by Microsoft, so I don't think you can really do that one. Let's just take a look at this biotech. Biotech's typically, let's see if we can get something that's cheap. Boy. Everything, unfortunately, there's Yeti. Wow. I think let me come back to that one. That's a tough order to find a penny stock that you can hold for a year. Yeah, that. Did I get? Oh goodness. Am I back? There I am. Okay. So I can't really help you, unfortunately, on that one, on a penny stock. That I can't really help you buying on there. Speaking of IPO, you're going to buy IPO of Coinbase. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait and let it trade. I think it's going to be very good. I think the IPO possibly could be very good on Coinbase. The symbol on Coinbase, by the way, for everyone out there, is COIN, and it's going to come public here very quickly, and it's going to be a direct listing, so it's not going to go through the regular IPO. I'm not going to buy it when it comes out. I'm going to wait a little bit on it to see what happens. Just to kind of see what happens on it, as it comes out, because I like to have stocks a little bit seasoned before I'm in them. So that's really the main thing here. So let's see if I can Neo. Okay, made $20 on Baba. So much. Not a bad idea to sell Baba just because it is, it's in a downward trend. Now, it did pop up. No stock goes straight up or straight down. So there is a bit of a relief rally there. Let's take another question from TikTok. How about GMIA? Let's take a look at it and see which way it's headed. GMIA is the symbol. Gemma Technology. This is the German company. This is the German e-commerce provider, and it's got a downward trend. It's got a downward trend. So, in that sense, I wouldn't really be a buyer of it right now. I kind of want to show you stocks that might work, that are cheaper, that might actually work, and they're really in the oil stocks, and I want to kind of go through some of those with you. As the price of oil goes up, I think we're likely to see some of the oil sector stocks do well, and I just kind of want to give you some options because so many people here have been talking about what penny stocks should I buy and that kind of thing. You can make money in penny stocks. I'm not saying you can't, but the likelihood is you're not going to because of the way that they are. But there are certain groups of stocks that do have the ability to do better, and one of those groups right now is the number 2 ranked sector, and I kind of want to show you this one as well. So let me just kind of move my thing here. It's the E&P. It's the U.S. E&Ps. There's 59 stocks in this group, and I kind of want to give you an idea of some of them that might be less expensive, but yet highly rated. And that's the key here. You want highly rated stocks. Let's see. I think Chesapeake. Let me see what the prices of the Chesapeake. Yeah, well, it's $45. So that's a little expensive for a lot of people here. All right. So let's kind of look at Chesapeake. I want to kind of look at others in the group. So I'm going to kind of move this over here. Oops. There's my thing here. I've got to get better on this. So let's look at ones that are in the group that I know that are relatively inexpensive. And let's see. Let's look at Continental Resources. Yeah, here's one that's a pretty good company that I think you might want to look at. It's called Continental Resources, and it's only a $4 stock, okay? But it actually has real business as opposed to some of the other penny stocks. This is a company that's very big in the Bakken Shale, and it's got a relative strength rating of 99. It's trading right at its 50-day moving average. It has good prospects, and I do think that probably will go higher. It's been up as far as 625. The symbol on it is CDEV, Continental Resources, and it's a good company. It's a good company, and if you're looking for a lower price stock, this one might be something that you might want to look at. I'm just going to show you the checklist on it. It doesn't have a great checklist. I mean, I wish it had a better checklist of this. It's 44%, but it's still not bad and everything. It's got more than 5 funds in it. It's above its 50-day average. It's got a relative strength above 80, and it's being accumulated. So that's a good thing. What's really good about this, though, is the sector that it's in. The industry rank is number 3 out of 197. There is movement back into this area of the market. It was so devastated that for a while there, it just wasn't doing anything. But right now, there has been some movement back into this into this area. This is called Continental Resources, symbol CDEV, just so I wanted to put it out there for you. Okay, great. Okay, so this is a question about Coinbase. Thanks, Kate. Thoughts on you know what? Here's the thing about Coin. I'm not going to be in the. I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to buy it as it comes out. I'm going to wait about a month to see how it trades. I want to see how it trades before I'm going to be in it, but I think it could be very good. I think it could be very, very good. So, but really no thoughts. I'm not going to buy it as it comes out. It is available. Here's the thing. Here's typically the way IPO trades, though. It'll come out. It will probably move up very quickly, and then possibly it will pull back. Now, here, if you do want to trade it when it comes out of the gate, here's the thing. If you get on that first tranche, you want to start putting your stop loss in, and you want to move that stop loss up very rapidly, because there's a high likelihood that it will pull back, and it will pull back quickly. So, not all IPOs are successful. I think this one is likely to be very, very good, but I just think you got to be somewhat careful on this one, due to the fact that it's just hard to say. I'm not going to be buying it probably until probably about a month. I want to see how it trades first. All right, thanks, Jay. AYRO. Let's look at AYRO quickly. AYRO. And that is interesting. I don't know this company. It's a dispense contract that's been in favor, right? That area has been in favor. Manufacturers distributed lighting products. Nice checklist. 66. The ownership is very nice. 227 funds. That's good. The industry is good. 64 out of 197. So that's looking very good. It's improving. Would I buy this one? Well, it's got a very good chart. Let's look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, very nice chart. Very nice chart. Moving well above the 200-day, and it's sticking right to the 50-day. So that's looking good. Has it reversed? It looks like it may be making a reversal off the 21-day line. So you know what? I think this looks very good. I think you could definitely add this. Here's what I would do. I wouldn't go in with a full position, but yeah, you could definitely add this. What do I mean by a full position? Well, if you take the value of your portfolio and you divide it by 8, that's going to give you 8 full positions. So if I had a portfolio, let's say, of $8,000, I would go in with no more than a half position on this one. So I would go in with about $500 worth of this stock. So you could easily come in and and possibly buy, in a relatively small portfolio, you could buy a fair number of shares. So this is not looking bad. It's not looking bad. So I definitely think you might have one to go with here. So very good. Looks good, Jay. Very, very good. All right. Let's take a look at ACIS. All right, ACIS. Take a look there. Okay. ACIX. And no, I don't see it. Let's see what it makes it. ACIC, I apologize. ACIC is the symbol. Interesting. Okay, this is a SPAC. I don't typically invest in SPACs. just because they typically, I don't know exactly what they're going to be buying. That's my main issue with SPACs. So I couldn't really give you an opinion on ACIS. SPACs, some SPACs have been very, very successful, others not as much. So I can't really tell you about this one. Again, it's just another blank check company. So I'm sorry, can't really tell you much. Let's look at PSHT. I think that's also a blank check company. TH. Is that right? PSTH? Yeah, PSTH. Pershing Square. Okay, this is problem with SPACs. Right here. Let me just kind of show you this chart. As you can see, everyone got excited. They got in, and then it went all the way down. So this is the Ackerman SPAC. That guy is. I'm familiar with him. I really don't have much respect for him, unfortunately. I mean, he was the guy that during the meltdown came on CNBC crying, and then he shorted the market. So he's kind of a snake. I mean, not to be, not to be. I wouldn't bet this one either. This is also this is the Ackerman SPAC, the Pershing Square one. Man, that guy is a snake. I wouldn't be in it, but whatever. I wouldn't be in this one. No way. Let's check BNGO. Is this Boingo? This was stock a long time ago. BNGO, I think it was. Yeah, BNGO. Okay, this is a genomics company. Yeah, these are very binary. If you get one of these right, it's terrific. But if you don't, it can be very tough. I don't like the chart. It's up after hours, but let's look at the weekly. Yeah, this is just all over the place. I think you got to be careful with this one. I don't like this chart. I don't like this chart at all. No, I probably would not be able. It's pulled. It looks like it's pulled below the 50-day line. Next stop is the 200-day line. I think you got to be careful on this one. So, yeah, sorry about that. Solo. Let's look at Solo. SOLO. Let's see. Interesting. Canadian based. Okay, so it's a EV play. Boy, you know what? A lot of these EV play. I mean, this is kind of like again, it's sort of too late to the party. It's got a downward trend. Maybe they could be a supplier, but I think the one you got to look at if you want EVs right now, the two best plays outside of Tesla are going to be Ford and GM. Actually, I like GM. I also like Volkswagen too. GM, this is probably the one you want. If you want to be in EVs, I think these guys are going to win. They're off 1 cent after hours, but they're at 59, and they have a very strong chart. As you can see, it's just straight up. This is General Motors. This company, believe it or not, is going to probably dominate the EV space. So, this is going to be a good one. The other alternative, if you want to be in EVs, and you don't want to, you want a lower price stock, is Ford. I'm in Ford currently. It's kind of a slow mover. The buy point on it is 12.14, but it's right on the 50-day line. So I think that if you give this one time, I think if you want to be in EVs and you don't want to spring for the Tesla shares, I think Ford or GM is where you want to be. Actually, Ford in some ways is better. It's going to have earnings in 16 days, so you got to be a little bit concerned about that. But if you want to be in EVs, I think that this one may be the place to be. I mean, literally, this thing is it's moving up. It's kind of slow and sure wins the race. But if you want to be in EVs, I think you got to, the ones that aren't in the game right now, it's going to be very, very hard for them to get in. It's just going to be very, very, very hard for them to get in because of everything that's happened. So if you want to be in the EV space, I think you got to go to the big boys. I really believe that. Okay, so let's take a look for TikTok. What do you think about Berkshire Hathaway? Well, I wish I owned some of the A shares. I can tell you that, but BRKB is the one that most people trade, and it's slow but sure wins the race. I mean, essentially, it's an insurance company, and it has it's not a bad chart at all. It just keeps moving along. It's nowhere near a buy point, and it doesn't trade options, so that I kind of don't like that. But it's just been on this very nice upward trend, and and currently it's trading for 264.99. I do think you can get a better bang for your buck, as it were, with the QQQ. Now that's down today, but this one, I believe, if you want a kind of a set and forget stock, this is probably where you want to be. It's the QQQ. Now the QQQ is getting ready to move out of this cup base with a 338.19 buy point. Now we're currently below that, but I plan on buying a little bit of the Qs when that indeed happens, and I do believe that will happen tomorrow. So with the QQQ, if you want a kind of a safe, safe bet that's going to give you nice exposure, here's what I recommend doing with the QQQ. You need to set a buy stop limit order for the QQQ at let's see, and this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow for the small portfolio for one position. 336.85 plus 10 cents plus 10 cents is going to give you 336.95. So here's what I would do instead of instead of Berkshire. I would consider buying the QQQ. Now, why would I buy the QQQ? Well, the QQQ is the top 100 stocks in the NASDAQ, and it has been shown that this index typically will outperform all the other indexes. So if you're looking for kind of a buy, set, and hold thing, this might be the way to go. Now, here's how I would play it. I wouldn't just go in and buy it because it's at a very key level, and it may be moving above what they call a base pattern. And if it does, then I think that's the ideal time to buy it. So it's the buy point on the QQQ is 338.19, but I don't recommend buying it there. I recommend buying it at 338.19 plus. And did I get that right? 338. Yeah, no, I didn't. I recommend buying it at 338.19. I put that in there wrong. So let me change that. Let me change that here. 338, and I didn't read it correctly. 338.19 plus 10 cents. 10 cents is 338. 338.29. So that's the ideal probably place to buy the Qs, probably tomorrow. What I would do is set a buy stop limit order for the QQQ at 338.19 plus 10 cents. So here's how that works. You go in and you set the stop amount for 338.19, and then you set the limit for 338.29. And so if the QQQ moves above this buy point on a little bit of strength, then it will buy you in at this little bit higher price. And the reason you want to do that is because you kind of want the momentum to clear this hurdle. Now it pulled back today, but it's up after hours. My guess is that tomorrow that you're going to see the QQQ move above that buy point. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put set a buy stop limit order for the QQQ at 338.29. So that's something, if you're looking for kind of something to get your toes wet and something that might be a good one, that might be something that works very well. It's an ETF, and I think it's quite good. All right, so let's look at, thank you, Iman. Let's look at MU. I'm in MU, by the way. I'm going to take a look at MU first. I have both the stock and a bull spread on this one. Yeah, it's up again, and it's up after hours. I do like this stock. It's staying right above. It's sticking right on the 21-day exponential, and it looks like it's moving up. It's just up 29 cents today, but it's holding at 95.59. My spread basically pays out if as long as it's above 90. So that looks like it's probably going to work. I definitely think this is strong. It's not really an excellent buy point now, unfortunately. We had a good opportunity. We had a buy point, and we've moved a little bit beyond that. I mean, theoretically, you probably could buy it if it pulls back to the 21-day line. But I'm liking this very much. It unfortunately just doesn't have a really good buy point at this point, but excellent stock. Let's look at XOM. This is Exxon Mobil. Now, here's the thing. This is the interesting thing about the oils. This is the most famous of all the oils, but yet it isn't really an oil stock. I know that sounds strange. This is really a transportation and retailing and refining stock, not as much an E&P stock. Where the action has been in the oil sector has been in what they call the E&P area, the exploration and production area. So in terms of a stock, I mean, Exxon is a good stock. Chevron is better, but the stock that you really want to look at, I believe, is a smaller company called Matador, MATR. I think that's the symbol for Matador. I think that's right. No, oh goodness gracious. Let me just pull up Matador here for you. I've got a, let's see how we can do this quickly. So I'm going to go to the E&P group, and here's what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of show you where the industry group is. This is in the number 3 group here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the number 3 group, and I want to show you a stock that that might be of interest to you. It's called Matador. Let's see, Magnolia Matador. There we go. MTDR. I had it almost right. It would help if I could. This stock I like, even though it's pulled below the 21-day, it's still above the 50-day moving average. It does have a relative strength of 98, which is very strong, and I do like the way this thing looks. It's in a sort of a consolidated range here between about 21 and there. You can't really buy it at this point. It really needs to move above this 27.43 really to buy it. But this is the kind of stock that I think you kind of want to look at this in. So, basically going back to the E&P stocks, this is going to kind of give us kind of a look at it. Also, another one in this group that I think you ought to look at possibly is Devon or Fang. Fang I particularly like. This is Diamondback Energy. It's essentially the same pattern. It's touching the 50-day, but I do think that we're going to see a reversal on this. None of these are right now at an excellent buy point, but as you can see, in the last, since the beginning of the year, we've had very, very nice movement on these. So instead of looking in the Exxons, look at the oil and gas, the smaller producers. Also, Devon, DVN. Devon Resources is another one that I think is very good too. This one may be reversing. It's a little less expensive. It's up 1 cent after hours, 21.89. Not necessarily the greatest place to buy this. You really have to buy this on a reversal, but this is kind of the area that I think that you ought to be looking at as opposed to Exxon Mobil. Just because Exxon Mobil is so large, it's not going to get as much of the bounce as the E&Ps are getting. mRNA. Let's look at mRNA real quick. mRNA, and that is Moderna. I haven't been trading Moderna since really the virus announcement. So I've been a little bit more circumspect on this. Its chart it's okay. It's below a buy point. There is a buy point on a cup base. But it's a 5th stage, so at 178.50. So I just don't think there's a place to buy Moderna right now. So out of these 3 that you gave me, MU, XOM, and Moderna, I think you gotta stick with MU. I think MU is the class act. MU. Let's go back to MU. MU is one of the there's a chip shortage right now, and MU makes memory, and they're doing quite well. It's a class stock. We're in the right cycle for it. There's not an exactly great place to buy this, but I just really like these numbers. I mean, look at sales are up 30%, profits are up 118% quarter over quarter. If you notice, here's the thing about semiconductors, they're highly cyclical. You'll notice all these quarters they were investing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters. They were basically investing, and you see their earnings per share was down. Then the new form factor came out, boom, up, up, up. So this is the thing about Micron. I have a bull spread on this one, and I also own the stock. So I have to be a little bit prejudiced here, but I am bullish on Micron. I really am. I'm bullish on Micron right now. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You typed A. I apologize. AYRO. So, thank you for correcting me, Jay. Sometimes, I have those fat fingers, and I don't sometimes type them right. AYRO. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Gosh, Round Rock, Texas. Electric vehicles. Well, it's in a good location. I like Round Rock. I actually like the real estate better in Round Rock than probably the electric vehicles. But there was a potential for a cup first stage at 10, but it's below that. I just think you got to be a little bit careful. They do have some nice sales, though. They're up 457%. You could initiate a position in this one. But I just don't know enough about them. They seem to be pretty thin here. It seems to be pretty thin. The checklist is pretty good. It's 66%. The industry 103. Okay, well that's sort of where their electric vehicles are right now. There's actually 18 funds in this, so somebody's funding it. Relative strength is 80, but it's got a downward pointing line. I just think that, wow. I just think this is a tough one. Yeah, I'm looking at the monthly chart here, and it's just, from a 20,000 foot view, I just think you got to sort of put it on the back burner for right now. So I'm sorry about that. I wish it was better, but I don't think it is. Let's look at FL for Squidly. I love that name. FL. Okay. Foot Locker. That's a good stock. You have. I think this is good. The consumer staples are doing really well, and go figure. I guess people, they want to get out there. Look at this nice, beautiful chart. Yeah, this is a beautiful chart. It's got a very nice relative strength, 85. I'm liking that. Everything's good. The last buy point, real true buy point on a consolidated base, was back here. Basically, but still looking very, very good. Look at that. That's a nice chart. Boy, I think this is a good one. Unfortunately, you could buy this if it moves above 59.35, and it is. It's 59.93. You could buy this here, but I would kind of wait to see if it pushes through 60. If it pushes through 60, then maybe you might be able to. But right now, I just think you have to be. If it pulls through 60, I might be tempted. I wouldn't do a full position though. I wouldn't be doing a full position. The industry has done great. Retail finally is getting legs. It's moving up, and it's acting very nicely. So it's the 14th out of 197. So, boy, I think this. I definitely think this is at the minimum watch list. And possibly a buy if it moves above 60. So that's looking good, looking very good. MU will reach $100. Well, I don't know if it'll reach $100. I don't know if it'll, but I tell you, I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't short it. I think MU is really looking good. Again, I always wish I always had bought more, but I do have a bull spread on it. Which I think it's going to do well because it's going to do well. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be over 100 next week. That would be a tough lift, but it might be. It's looking very, very strong. It's looking very, very strong, and I may be buying more of it actually, to be honest with you. CHPT. All right, CHPT. ChargePoint. This is a group that I really like too. Unfortunately, the chart is not liking me, but because it is right now a downward trending chart. You got to look at this one with Blink. Blink is a little bit smaller company than this one. This has a downward trending chart and 87. I haven't bought this one, but it's definitely in my sights. Last summer I was, this last summer I was really in Blink. I definitely like these two. I like this area a lot. I think you got to go of these two. I think you got to go with Blink. And the reason I do is look at the chart. The chart is an upward. It looks like the Blink chart has reversed on the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, see, I found a trend line here, and I do believe, we've pulled a little bit below that, but I think it makes one more trip above that line. You see, this is the trend line that I bought, that I put on Blink. It's definitely above it. It's reversing. This is possibly a good time to buy Blink because I do think it may be going back up to where it was, above 64. It's right now. And look, it's after hours at 41. So this one may be a good reversal. BLNK. I think that this one is probably a better bet than ChargePoint right now. It's a third the size, but it just seems like it has much better action. I kind of want to take a look at some of the checklists. 66, good. 53 out of 197, liking it. 44, and look at this. Since last summer, we've just seen continuously more funds come in. Not a lot of funds, but more funds. 29, 44. Let's look at our sales. This is key for this company because sales are going to tell the tale. Look at this sales on Blink Charging. It's up 250% quarter over quarter. So that it's still losing money, but the sales are what's up. I'm liking that very, very much. Also has a 99 relative strength. That's very strong. 11% funds right now. I'd like to see 20% funds in here, but I think we're getting there. I do think we're getting there. Once we get to 20% funds, then it's off to the races because then other funds will move into this area. So I do like Blink Charging. I'll be honest with you. I've been in this really since it was sub 10, and then I got pushed out again. So I'm looking to possibly get back in on this one. This one definitely I think is worth your time and taking a look at. So of those two, ChargePoint or Blink, I think you want to go look at Blink. It's a little bit stronger chart right now. Let's look at BABA on the close. Let's see how it closed. And I'm going to take a look at the 5-minute chart here, the 10-minute chart here. So let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. It did show a lot of strength. I mean, it gapped up, which is interesting. And then it looks like there was buying at the close, so that's a good sign. 244. The question is, can it hold there? I don't know. The problem with this one, I'm still uncertain on BABA, and the reason I am is because of this fine that the Chinese government is levying on BABA. I think it's been kind of a big deal, and I just don't know how that's going to affect. I just don't know how that's going to affect things. So I can't really give you a good answer on that. I hate to say it, but I can't. Thoughts on BOEX? SPAC for WeWork. Well, you know what? Here's the problem with WeWork in general. I've been to many WeWorks. I love the concept. I love the WeWork concept, but here's the problem with it. None of the leases, they're not making any money. And I think they get caught. But let's look at BOEX. I don't like SPACs. And if you've been listening for any amount of time, I'm kind of negative on SPACs just because, I just don't think I think it's really too hard to gauge. It's it's theoretically right above a buy point at 1208, but God, it just hasn't been around that long, and I don't know. I think I just can't get excited about it. It doesn't look. The chart looks like it may pull back, but here's the thing. Watch this one. Don't buy it right now. Let's see how it performs, because I think what you want to do on this one is I think what you want to do in this one is watch this for now. I know that it's tough because you want to get them at the right level, and if you're right, you're right. But boy, I still think you've got to watch this one. It just doesn't seem. The problem with a SPAC is that you just don't know how it's going to perform. It has no, as you can see, obviously a SPAC is just a blank check. So you don't have any earnings. You don't really have any sales. So it's very tough. I mean, you're just depending totally on the people that are running the SPAC. and their their interests may not coincide with your interests. So I just think you got to watch this one. I think you have to watch this one for now, because even the WeWork is having issues regarding its WeWork is definitely having issues. So I just think you got to be careful with this SPAC, and you got to be I just wouldn't recommend it at this point. But definitely want to watch list this. Here's what I mean by watch list. You need to have a running watch list of stocks that you're looking at on a daily basis, because things change, and this is just based on the charts. This isn't really based on really knowing anything. And with a SPAC, that's really all you can base it on, just because they don't have any sales, they don't have any product. I mean, it's right now. It's up. It's up to the management. So yeah, I think you can't buy it. All right. What program do you use? Oh, hey, thank you very much. I use a number of programs here, and one of them has been kind of malfunctioning today. I use something called a StreamYard, which allows me to show my simulcast on TikTok, and then the charting software I use is called MarketSmith. And what I like about MarketSmith a lot is it has pattern recognition, which allows me to kind of very quickly go in and find buy points, which is very nice, because instead of having, like I used to do back in the day, where I would go in with my protractor and my pencil, and I could only do maybe 20 charts in a day. I mean, that was really good. With this pattern recognition, it's wonderful, because it goes in and it scans about 70, 80, 7,000, 8,000 stocks or more, and I just look at the very best ones. So it's very exciting, and that's what I use currently. So thanks for the question very, very much, and thanks for watching, by the way. All right, what about L? The L brands? Yeah, this has been doing fabulous, by the way. I'm sorry, that's Lowe's. Pardon me. I was thinking about L brands. For some reason, I got that confused. Lowe's Corp. I'm really of two minds on Lowe's. The Lowe's owns an awful lot of property in New York City, and this COVID thing has been very bad for occupancy in New York, and so I'm a little bit leery about this area, to be honest with you. The weekly chart doesn't look bad, but I just think that, it's a problem. Now, of course, they have property insurance, and that's always a good business. So Lowe's is kind of all over the place, but, and the chart looks good. So what could you do with this one? Well, it's not a particularly exciting area. It's got a nice checklist, 66%, and it's got a nice ownership by funds. By the way, this is really what pushes up stocks. People don't understand that, it's not individual buyers like me and you that push up stocks. It's the big funds that are coming in and out. That's what you want to see. But other than that, it looks fairly good. Would I buy this? Probably not, because it's not the sector I want to be in. It's 190. It's 102 out of 197, and it's diversified insurance, which is. It trades like it's really a financial. It trades like the financial, so it's not going to necessarily have any advantage over some of the other sectors. It's not going to move up quickly. The reason I like the E&P oil and gas sector right now is because it was so beaten down. It was so beaten down that now that the price of oil is going up, the funds are starting to move in it, and that's where I'm kind of looking for some of the values that right now. But I can't really recommend this one. This is a very stodgy group. Lowe's is a great company. It's been around forever and a day, and it's very consistent on its profit. But I want a stock I want a stock that's going to be out in front. That's going to make big gains, and I don't want yesterday's stock. I want tomorrow's stock, and so that's why I think you ought to be looking at some of the other stocks that are more thinly traded. I do think that electric vehicles are a major trend in our economy. Right now, I think, though, you've got to look beyond the vehicle manufacturers themselves, such as Tesla, though I think that if Tesla moves above about 720, then I think it's a potential buy again. I'm currently not in the stock, but I'm waiting. But I also think you have to look at the ancillary products. One of the areas that they're going to need a lot of are charging stations. And there's really two plays in this. There's Blink Charging and ChargePoint. Now, Blink Charging is smaller than ChargePoint, but it has a better chart. So I think that's one where you want to look. There's also a chip shortage going on right now, so that's a very key thing. That's one of the reasons why Micron, MU, may be a good stock in the near future. Why? Because all these vehicles, all this other stuff, it all requires chips, and there's a chip shortage. And of course, Micron is one of the largest manufacturers of memory chips in the world. So that's another thing to look at. So there you go. PayPal for the long term, absolutely. There's really two companies that I really like in the space, and of course there's Square and PayPal. But let's look at PayPal first. PayPal, is going to be one of the places that people are going to be able to move in and out of crypto. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. This is kind of the little train that could. I mean, it looks like we've had a nice reversal. This is what they call a consolidation, third stage. The pivot on it is 309, so we're well below the pivot. So, but we're still early. We have a potential to buy as it moves above this, and I'm going to draw a line here, above the 50-day moving average. The fact that it's moved above the 50-day moving average means that it's probably going to move higher. As you can see, this is the trend currently that it has. So here's the thing. I think PayPal is a truly great stock, and it's something that if you have a relatively mid or longer term, I think it's something you want to be in. This is sort of the Visa of now. I mean, Visa and MasterCard are great companies, but they were like 5, 10, 15 years ago. PayPal and Square are the companies of now, because these are the companies that are going to benefit the most from a lot of the crypto stuff that's going on. Take a look also at Square. Square is looking very, very nice. It's also in this consolidation. Very similar chart to PayPal. Also excellent stock. It's up after hours as well. So of these two, I think you got to look at them both. I would probably, for the long term, take PayPal. It's slower moving though than Square. Square is looking very, very good. So don't count it out. But here's the thing: I would look. I would look definitely at PayPal for long term. I think that's a very good. I think that's a very, very good point, and I think it's an excellent stock. All right, let's take a look at AOUT. All right, this is probably going to be just about the last one. I've almost wasted another hour of your time. So here we go. AOUT. All right. Let's take American Outdoors. Of course, this is the company that is the firearms company, and of course, they're doing great because every time they try to pass gun legislation, these companies do well. It's just funny how that works. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Let's see if there's any entry point here. Yeah, look at that. Wow, very nice trend line. Very nice. It's moved. Unfortunately, it's moved above its first stage cup entry at 1948. It's currently at 27.98. I think what you got to do with this one is you have to watch this one. Unfortunately, there's no really. I'm just looking for an entry point here. You could possibly buy it if it moved above 28.89. It's currently at 27.98. That would be a higher high, but I think we're too far extended from the 10-day line. So basically what I would do is I would wait for a pullback. And this is so hard to do. I would wait for a pullback to the 10-day line, and currently that 10-day line is at 26. So here's the thing about that. I think you got to wait on this one and put it on your watch. So I like this. I like this stock. It's just the question is I just don't want to buy it this far extended. It's extended above the buy point, and it's just when that happens, it's just you can get these nasty pullbacks. So that's kind of where it's at, but it's good stock, and it's definitely you want to watch this. I wouldn't buy this one right now, only because it's extended. Everything else looks good on it. It's just extended, and it's just when you buy extended stocks, you usually regret it. So it's extended, unfortunately. Let's look at Disney. Is Disney a hold? The great thing about Disney, of course, is if the economy ever reopens, Disney is going to benefit hugely because everybody is going to want to get out of Dodge and get into their parks and all that kind of stuff. And of course, they've been watching the Disney stuff on television, so that's been good. But it's been pulling back up as of late. It's currently technically in a buy zone. Disney is currently in a buy zone, but it is at a downward trend. So I don't like buying in a downward trend. but it is in a buy zone, and it looks like it has just pulled below the 50-day line. Here's the thing: if you want to buy Disney, and I don't think it's a bad choice for a long-term hold. I really don't. I want to see it reverse off that 50-day line. So here's the thing: right now it's trading at 186.49. I think you can't really buy it right at this moment. I think you have to wait until it moves above the 40 and the 50 and the 21-day line. I think you've got to really wait until it moves above 189, and we're not that far from that. So we're very close to that price. So I mean, I definitely think if it moves up, if it retakes its upward motion at about 189, that's where I think you could possibly get in. But I wouldn't get in hard here because this chart we basically have a buy point at 183.40. But we went up and we've readjusted. So I do think if there's a reversal here, we could get back in with Disney. It's a total class company. It's got great earnings, and it's a lot of funds are in it. I mean, the checklist could be better. It's only a 55% checklist, but in general, it's pretty darn good. It's also got some of the best funds in it, Fidelity Contra Fund being one of them, and Franklin Grove. So it's got very nice funds in it. 38.99 funds are in it. So it's heavily sponsorship by funds. So this one will be probably a lot less volatile than a lot of its peers, just because it has so many funds in it, and it's a Dow stock. Now, is it gonna jump up? Well, it's done pretty well. So, but I do think you want to wait for a reversal on this one. I would not buy it at this point. I would wait until it moves above about 189, and it might do that tomorrow because it's looking like it is possibly reversing off that 59 line. So, yeah. So hopefully, thank you for watching. By the way, I hope you can tell all your friends about the show. I really appreciate it. Of course, thank you. Oops, wait a minute. There we go. All right. Okay, Kate, thank you for watching, by the way, and please tell your friends, because we do, we love the referrals. And by the way, just everyone, I do have action trade alerts. I'm going to try to put out the top-rated stocks tonight. That's a top-rated under $10 stocks. Now, this is just a guideline. These aren't recommendations, but I tell you what, this is how I found Blink Charging. And it was under $10 when I first started acquiring it, and now it's over 40. So there are good stuff in here. But in order to get on that list, you got to get basically onto the action trade alerts, and it's very easy to do. All you have to do, of course, is go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and just need the first and last name. And if you're looking on TikTok, very easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit the link. It says Beacons, and first and last name, and then you'll be on the action trailers. And I'm going to try to put out the list tonight. Hopefully I'll get it out tonight for the highly rated under $10 stocks. And everybody really likes that one. It's just not a recommendation, but these are all going to be highly rated, so it's kind of a good place to fish for nice fish in there. And by the way, if you want to get access to the Discord room, and this is where I actually put some of the trades I'm making. I did a very nice trade, I think, on Delta Airlines today. It's basically a bear call spread, because I do think they're coming up on earnings in about 3 days, and I think they're going to pull back. But I've got a bear call spread that's available to our Discord people, and that's real easy too. All you have to do to see what that is going on is go to basically www.vinny.com/DallasTradingFloor. And then I'm going to put that up. There we go. www.vinny.com/DallasTradingFloor. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take a look at me. And please tell your friends. I always appreciate that. And, of course, we're going to be coming out, hopefully, with the under $10 list for the people that are on the action trade alerts tonight. Of course, that's the free one, and that's at www.DallasTradingFloor. So until 2:30 tomorrow, happy trading, and stay safe.